Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Ones Tarot. My name is Carmen. Today we've got a reading for you about somebody that you have been in a relationship with or like a long-term situationship. And for whatever reason, they feel like they've got this hold over you or a way that they can always kind of get under your skin and maybe find another opportunity to talk to you or primarily see you in person, maybe later at night, maybe clothing optional. We've got the Queen of Cups in the reverse with the Lovers and the Ace of Wands in the reverse. And for me, this is coming through pretty strongly as rejecting somebody who feels like they can show up randomly and get some affection from you, but they are rejected. With the Ace of Wands being in the reverse, I feel like you've lost interest or you have very strong boundaries. You're not interested in some fun with somebody you know doesn't take you seriously or with somebody that you don't love. So, hello, Jess. How are we doing? Let's call in spirit with a little bit of Winchanta. I hope you're having a wonderful day. My apologies for the lawnmower. I don't think it'll be going for too long, but hopefully you can kind of tune it out. If you would like a personal reading, my email address is in the description box below. And we're going to start with the Beginner's Tarot. What else do we have? Oh, it'll be close in probably like 60 seconds. It's going back around. All right, what else? Oops. What else do we have? Yeah, it's definitely that time of year where everyone's trying to get the outdoor situation back where they want it to because things are warming up. And allergies too. Hopefully it's not too bad. So 9 of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. I know what I want. I really just want the one thing. And to be honest, what I'm seeing is a person that seems to prefer quantity over quality, or somebody who keeps things very surface level. They don't really seem to want to go for depth. They want just like low key fun. But you're not into that. You're not interested in a one night stand or somebody who's going to play games, right? Seven of Wands, Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. You've got boundaries. You know this person's not loyal. You know that they haven't changed. This could also be somebody who has flirted with or even dated another person in your social community or like a close friend of yours. And with the Tower being in the reverse, you know the trouble that would occur if you were to give in to this temptation, which makes it that much easier for you to avoid it. You're not interested in the gossip. You know what's going on, that this person's not really interested in something serious. They just want to have a little bit of fun. Knight of Swords in the reverse. King of Wands. And the Emperor. You really upset this person. They feel like it's going to be so easy to flirt with you, slide into the DMs, find a time to meet up. You should feel lucky that I'm choosing you is kind of the arrogance attitude coming through. I know, I could have chosen a different one, but it was too easy. Like this person. The King of Wands, this is somebody who is very much so invested in their reputation in kind of a negative way. I want to be seen as a party person. I want to be pursued. I want people to line up for me. But they really did not expect you to have a better, I don't know, sense of self-respect than they do. You're coming out as the Emperor. They're only the King of Wands. I said only, and I meant it. This person's really just thinking with their wand. Don't get too focused on the genders, right? This is somebody who's very much so thinking about physical intimacy. And the Emperor, whoever I'm reading for, you're aware that that's all they're interested in. So when you reject them, Four of Cups, because you know they're not interested in a relationship and you're holding out for something that is like a higher level, right? I want there to actually be some sense of chemistry, or, you know, feel like we have some things in common. 5-year goals have some similarity. This is your ability to recognize this person is a walking red flag. Sorry, I'm only attracted to green flags. They're struggling because they really felt like you would, be open to it. This is the Wild Reflections. Hello, Aqua Beauty. How are we doing? Exactly. Is that so much to ask? Just something real. 7 of Cups. This is so like ego based. It's like I've got options, like I didn't have to choose you, but I chose you. And even though I wanted to, spend my free night, or, I'm back in town and I wanted to crash at your place, you're not interested? They're so confused because this person has their back to the 7 of Cups. I could have chosen anybody, but I chose you and you're going to turn me down? Yeah, because I'm not stupid. Whoever resonates with the Emperor, you defend your boundaries, you decline to hang out with this person, or you don't want to invite them over, don't want to go over to their place. There's a gong on this Sun card, and it's because it's done. You've already moved on from this person, or you know exactly what they're after, and that's not what you're looking for. So you're not flexible on this point. This isn't something that you want to like discuss with them. It's, for some of you, enough to just leave them on red. For others of you, if you see them in person, you may like walk the other way. Because for some of you, this person has been trying to run into you, and you know this. Because they feel like maybe they'll be more successful if they see you in person. Maybe their charms are more irresistible, right? They don't realize that you've been through some sort of healing. They have not gone through that healing, and they don't realize with the 10 of Pentacles that you see your own worth, that you have, an idea of what you want your long term to look like. So the short term isn't really your priority. Not in that way. Four of Cups. I had so many options. I could have chosen anybody else, but I chose you, and now you're rejecting me. They're going to try to manipulate you. They're going to try to make you feel guilty, like you owe them something, or like, you should feel special. But the thing is, they're literally doing nothing, and they want like, I don't know, a congratulations. Oh, cool. You sent me a text message that said that you want to hang out for a couple of hours, or like get a hotel. Do you want like a thank you card? This is somebody who's unrealistic in their expectations of you. They feel like you should be honored. LOL. We've got the Knight of Cups, the Nine of Swords in the reverse, and the Queen of Swords. They're real confused because they feel like they had the perfect strategy, or, there was no way you're going to deny them. They felt like, I don't know, maybe you've just got that chemistry, or things were left unfinished. They don't expect you to feel kind of indifferent to whether or not you see them again, or, uninterested in their booty call. We're just going to go there. Let's see. This is the Fairy Lenormand. Hello, Key Controller. Hello, Peggy. How we doing? Exactly. Number 17, the Stork. Number 9, the Bouquet. Yeah. I thought you would like that I chose you. I thought you would want to meet up with me. I thought you would want to come over. You've never seen my place or blah, blah. They have this weird perception of like the invitation to have a one night stand as like being some great thing. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's just that they have like a really big ego or they feel like you used to be this way, but they're not seeing clearly. They feel like they're hot enough stuff where you would be excited to like see them naked. 32 and 13, the moon and the child, the girl. Well, the thing is, you see past whatever it is. Like if they're saying, do you want to meet up for a drink? You know what they're really asking. They don't expect you to be as perceptive, or they don't expect you to have grown up as much. For some of you, this is a person that you haven't seen in a couple of years. They don't know that you have learned some pretty interesting lessons. I feel like this is somebody who is, how do I put this? They don't really read the room as well because they're real focused on themselves. So let's say you're having a difficult conversation, 3 or 4 of you, and there happens to be a mirror in that room that you're having the conversation, or, you can kind of see yourself in the reflection of the window in the restaurant. Instead of watching like the body language and the response from people during this, maybe somewhat stressful conversation, they're checking their hair in the window. They're looking at, how their collar sits in the mirror. They're preoccupied with themselves. That's this energy. They're very focused on what they look like and how other people are viewing them. We have the Ace of Chalices or the Ace of Cups, the Nine of Gold or the Nine of Wands in the reverse, and the Sun. Yeah, I think you have made a rule for yourself that you're going to focus on people that have a genuine interest in a long-term connection or a genuine interest in you for who you are, right? And this person doesn't offer that. So because you have this enlightened approach, because you're not willing to waste your time with somebody, you don't seem to have much trouble with the self-control element. And they really felt like you would be like flattered or excited because they show you some attention. 8 of Cups in the reverse, the High Priest, and the Magician. I'm so used to everybody fawning over me, or I'm so like accustomed to people having crushes on me or fighting over me. So when I come back around and I show interest in you and you say no, it's like they're shocked. They don't understand. And it's because with the Magician, you're smarter about how you use your energy. You don't want to get distracted by this person. You don't want to get wrapped up in some, belief that maybe something will happen here. It's like you view it as, I don't even want to like open that mess up, right? When I'm organizing or cleaning, you have to like think about how much time you have before you take on a project, right? How many of you have started a project like, oh, I'm going to reorganize my closet, and then you get like way too far in and you're like, man, I'm going to have to like sleep or like eat some food, like get about my day. And all I've done is started a giant mess under the guise of like organization. You're looking at this as, I've got goals. There are things I'm working on. There are things that I'm busy with. Some of you have enough on your plate because you're dealing with some family drama or things with your children. And the idea of dealing with somebody and their kind of immature approach to connections just kind of makes you go, ugh. No, I think I'd rather get like a pedicure or go fishing or, I don't know, listen to music. It's like, I'd rather do something that's relaxing, not like add to the stress that I have in my life. And I feel like you would just be stressful. 5 of Mallets would be the 5 of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. They don't expect your priorities to have changed. They feel like you're just this like fun-loving person, always interested in seeing them, but you have a different priority. You don't have this willingness to be distracted. Maybe you used to, but you have goals, you have things that you're working towards. Maybe you even have a deadline, and it's like they don't understand. But like, I'm so hot. I had all these other people that wanted me, that wanted to go out with me, and here I'm choosing you, and you're like, no? What? They don't get it. I don't know if this person just does not get rejected very often, or if they feel because it's them and you, right? Oh, you always like to see me when I'm in town, or I know you miss me. Chariot in the reverse, Ace of Mallets, which would be the Ace of Pentacles, and the Knave or the Page of Chalices, Page of Cups in the reverse. You tell them, don't bother. You say you don't want to see them. You walk out when they walk in. Whatever it is, you make it very clear what you're interested in. And I feel like with the Ace of Pentacles, it's stability, security, like money. I'm not going to get caught up in some situationship with somebody that I don't necessarily have any like actual interest in. And this makes them upset. This throws them into like a fit of insecurity. So this could be somebody who has a pretty big ego, but it's masking their insecurity. This is the Nightmare Before Christmas. Let's do that. Knight of Potions, which is the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Needles or the Knight of Swords in the reverse. They're lying about their intentions. They feel like they're real charming. They feel like they can get anybody. They can pull anybody. Nine of Potions, Nine of Cups, and Judgment. I made my decision, or I'm not interested because I know what is most important to me right now. I know that, maybe you want me to focus on desire and, feel tempted. But the truth is, I feel like you're kind of selfish. I feel like you are just, looking to get what you want. And I've got all these things to do. I've got all these things that are more important to me. Hello there, Weaver. How we doing? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. What else? Temperance in the reverse and the Five of Candles, which is the Five of Wands. They wanted to party with you. They were hoping maybe if you had some reservations that if you were maybe partying with them, those reservations would kind of melt away. There's also for some of you, like when you reject them, they try to make you jealous in order to get you to change your mind. With the Five of Wands, that can sometimes refer to competition. But I think for the majority of you, this is somebody who like starts a fight. Hermit in the reverse, because they feel like you're messing up. You don't understand how important it is that, they chose you. Oh, this person. It's like you look up the definition of ego in Webster's and this person's face is there. Even though they look like this, you guys. I'm just kidding. It does seem like they probably are at least reasonably attractive. They've got a lot of confidence if they're not. They felt like they would have whoever they wanted, like, oh, well, I know all these people want me and I'll choose you. Oh, How special. Knight of Candles, the Knight of Wands. So we have 3 of the 4 knights in that little corner right there. Just kind of immature energy, right? And the 5 of Presents, which is the 5 of Pentacles. I know as soon as you get what you want, you're going to like poof, disappear. You know, it's like if you've ever had a friend who asks to borrow something, maybe it's an actual item like, I don't know, a jacket they like, or maybe they ask to borrow some money. And you just have this feeling like as soon as they get what they want, they're going to be like gone for a while. You won't get that money back, or maybe you won't see that jacket again. Or, you know, like they'll just kind of ignore you for a while. This is that kind of energy. Like I know you swoop in, get what you want, and then you leave, right? So if this pattern's already established, that's why we have, you know, some confidence here in saying, I know this isn't love. I know what it is. We have the Moon and the Queen of Presents, or the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, which I love because it's in the same column as the other Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. I'm not going to look for things that I know don't exist, or I'm not going to pretend that you're capable of a more serious relationship than you really are. I feel like this is somebody who has recently, as in, you know, like the last year or two, really worked on that discernment and listening to your intuition. I know what I know about you. I'm not going to like, you know, talk it up or make it sound better than it is. You're not interested in a relationship. So if that's the case, then, you know, go pick one of those other options you got. You said you had plenty, right? But the thing is, you're rejecting them, like it gets under their skin. It makes them mad. And then they like want to prove you wrong, or they want to like convince you that you're wrong. It's like they're going for the hard sell. Devil, Page of Presents, or the Page of Pentacles. All right, what can I do to sweeten the pot? What can I do to make sure that you're extra interested in me? So this could be somebody who feels like if they flirt a little bit, or if they, you know, try to take you to the best place in town, or, oh, hey, you could like spend the night. They're trying to figure out what would it take for you to actually change your mind. This is the Earth and Bone Oracle. Hello, Matt. Hello, Justin. How are we doing? The Stand, 40. Courage, determination, and fearlessness. I feel like this is that 7 of Wands energy. I know this isn't the right thing for me, or I know I don't want to be, you know, involved in this kind of thing. So no, thank you. They're on you. Like usually people give into them. So they're not used to being rejected. They're not used to maybe dealing with people that have the self-respect that you have. 42, Meadow, completion, success, blessings, positivity, and gratitude. You're focused on things that are going well in your life, or on a project that is headed the right direction. You don't have time to get distracted by somebody who is very clearly just thinking about what they can get from the situation. Blood Moon, 8. Illusions, uncertainty, confusion, secrets, egotism, and narcissism. What do you mean you are in love with me? Everyone's in love with me. They don't get it. They don't understand how you could just like reject them like that. I don't know. Everybody needs to get rejected at least once in their life. Like at least once. We all need to hear no. This is the Situations deck. Hello, Laura. How's it going? What else do we have? Lockdown, mental, prison, or confined. Racing, running, avoiding, and searching online, looking for info and records. So we've got someone who looked you up online. Maybe it even took them a little time to figure out how to find you, or get around a block for some of you. But I feel like this is somebody who gets real in their head because you reject them. And with the racing card, I feel like you're trying to avoid this person and they're basically chasing you because you rejected them. They're not used to that. Hello, Speeding. How you doing? Hello, Robert. I hope you're having a good day. Well, that's exactly what this reading says. Temptation? Psh. Nah. So we've got retaliation and the insatiable card and threatened. So because you rejected me, because you didn't want to give in to temptation, because you had some self-control and you rejected me, I want to make you jealous. I want you to see me with somebody else, or I want to, tell people that you're a jerk. Obviously, it's probably worse than that. They want to make you regret rejecting them. They really felt like they had a chance to spend time with you, like an hour or two. But either because you had history or because you'd flirted in the past, but what they felt was a sure deal with you, they were just completely wrong because you leave the bar early, you don't even respond to their message, you're not interested, and they kind of lose it. So best advice is don't feel like you need to go somewhere with this person, because I do feel like they're going to try to make things awkward. And they're going to try to make you jealous somehow. I don't know if they can, but they seem to think that they can. That's like if I go into a shop and I try on a jacket and I look at it in the mirror and then I put it back on the hanger or the shelf, and then someone else comes up behind me and decides to buy it. Am I supposed to be like, oh, darn, I was going to buy that? This person doesn't seem to really have the best strategy to try to mess with you because, you've already rejected them, right? Sorry, I already kind of figured out you were an ugly sweater. So we've got insecure. Insecurities may be affecting your relationship. You rejecting them makes them freak out because they're actually pretty insecure. And they love having all these options. They love thinking about all these people that want them because they are insecure. When you put all of your worth in things that are superficial, like how you look, instead of actually trying to be a good person, people will not be as upset when they lose you. Because what do you bring to the table? It's great to look good. It's great to be attractive. It's great to have people that want to be with you. But if you want a meaningful relationship, you got to actually offer something of substance. And that's what makes this person uncomfortable, because they realize it's not that you're, rejecting them for reasons that other people like them. You're rejecting them for the meaningful reasons, highlighting that maybe there are things they really need to work on because you're not interested in settling with somebody like them. And that, again, it's highlighting those insecurities. Yep. Hello, Renee. How are you doing? Break. Time apart will be beneficial to this connection. Self-centered. You don't say. Some of you will have a future encounter with this person if, and probably only if, they go through an ego death. But the reason you are encountering them, the reason they are encountering you, is because you're holding up a mirror to them and saying, hey, yes, I'm on your... Oh, it's an ego problem. You might want to work on that. You are holding up a mirror to them and saying you are self-centered. If you want somebody of high caliber, you're going to have to work on those insecurities and, being self-absorbed, because that's not a good look. You're highlighting for them what they need to work on, and that makes them angry. is the Pulp Tarot. What else? Eight of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and the Six of Wands in the reverse. So because you know your worth, because you have self-control, self-respect, you highlight for them what they lack. You show what they need to work on. And you also kind of differentiate yourself from the other options they have, right? So the failure with you is all the more difficult for them because they realize like you're kind of a badass. So it's like the rejection makes them angry, but also kind of like makes them more into you. Five of Swords in the reverse, the Star in the reverse, and the Four of Cups. You, in some way, make it very clear to this person that it is a no for you. You are not interested because they have things they need to work on, and that's why they don't treat people the way they should. So they get the message. It is a no until you've actually worked on these things that make you feel like you're the only person that matters. Four of Pentacles, the Sun in the reverse, and the Five of Pentacles. So you make this person real sad because you reject them, because you hold back your energy, because you have standards. And if somebody gets mad at you, or if somebody is upset because you have standards, you got nothing to feel bad about. Nothing. People will try to make you feel bad for having standards. People will like make you out to be the villain for not tolerating certain manipulative energies or dishonesty. And I encourage you to find that balance of making sure you know how to see yourself the way you really are, opportunities for you to improve upon how you communicate, show respect. But don't you dare feel bad about having standards or boundaries. Nope. Nope. Let's see. We'll get a few from What's the News. What else do we have? Lucky break, key player, good fortune, good things coming, turning point, important person, playing an essential role, irreplaceable. You are this key player, especially you, key controller. You are the person that tells this person in a way that they actually hear. Now, am I going to tell you that they're going to change everything overnight? No. You make it real clear that if they want somebody on your level, they have things they need to work on. Your house is not in order. You send them this message in a more effective way than anybody else has. And it's because you reject them and you do it in a way that is not like looking to make them feel bad about themselves, but it does make it quite clear that you respect yourself. So you make them feel like they need to rethink their whole thing, that maybe what they think is pretty great isn't that great. So we have the repo card. They may have some issues in terms of their finances that kind of make them look for that validation or that confidence through people being attracted to them, right? I like to get that attention. Makes me feel good about myself because I don't really feel good about myself with, regards to my job or paying bills on time. When you reject them, it puts them into overdrive, trying to figure out what's going on in your life, find out more about you. Why do you feel the way you do about yourself? Why do you not get into temptation? It's like they want to study you. Nobody rejects them, apparently, because they are just fascinated. I think it's because they don't really know a lot of people who have detached from their ego. They don't know a lot of people who've gone through a spiritual awakening. They know primarily people who get their confidence from other people, right? And so because they deal with primarily fake people, it's like your rejection is more of an insult, or it weighs heavy upon them because they know it means something. It's not just a frivolous rejection. This is the untold messages of the heart. What else? I feel like you've moved on without me, and that's difficult for me to see. You are the one, the only one. I'm staying away from you because the last thing I want to do is hurt you. Well, I don't know if before this you felt like this person had any real feelings for you. My gut tells me that no. But they get jealous because of your rejecting them. And I think that's when they stumble upon the fact that they might actually have feelings for you. They might have successfully dressed them up for Halloween as something less scary, like, I don't know, a vampire. But they are struggling because they're realizing, I don't want to be rejected, but also apparently I don't want to be rejected by you because I really like you. For some of you, be careful. They fall in love with people who make it difficult. They like a challenge. This is not a compliment. This is, I have to win. And that's not love. So be careful because they may make it seem, or they may actually believe that it's love, but it's really their ego needing to get that W, you know? Surprise and ghost. Big happy changes are coming when you least expect it. I won't stay for very long. I'm sorry. They're going to go above and beyond. They're going to do something wild. Like, I want to set up a really awesome date, or I want to plan like a weekend getaway, or, you know, like I'll meet your family. Like, they want to do some big gesture to try to prove you wrong and make it seem like they want something more, or they're capable of some long-term relationship, but they are still going to ghost. They are still going to run away because they can't do the longevity thing. They haven't done the healing for that. So be cautious. They really like themselves, and they feel like you should too. Hello, Chandlo. How are you doing? Thank you for the likes and subscribes. I sure do appreciate you. And I hope to see you on the next reading. Toodles.